All right, so we're getting ready to attempt to do another random visit. This is with a woman, girl, I'm not sure how old this person is, by the name of Brittany, and I believe they're in Wyoming. Doesn't Kanye West own some property out there? That's about the only thing that I know. He's always going out there to do like record release parties and Yeezys, things like that. Maybe this person will know something about that. Brittany in Wyoming. Oh, and real quick, let me also say this. When I requested this visit, this person was blowing me up. Who is this? And then I tried to visit them and it didn't go through. And then they sent me like 3 visitation requests. So let's see if we can get them on the line. I got no idea what we're in for. And I guarantee you they ain't got no idea neither. My name's Joe. I got a YouTube channel. Nefarious. Anytime. Hello, Brittany.
Do I know you?
You don't know me. My name is Joe. How you doing? I got a YouTube channel. It's called AfterPrisonShow, and I like to visit people that I don't know and just find out what their time is like. And if they're interested, I put $20 on your kiosk or on your commissary and maybe try to help you get some pen pal support.
Oh, okay.
I try to get right to the point, and forgive me for doing that. I'm getting a little bit better with my introduction. I've done this a couple of times now, so it is getting a little smoother. I don't come at you for any type of funny business. I'm not here to make light or make fun of your situation. But tell me a little bit about yourself, if you don't mind.
My name is Brittany. I'm 26 years old. I'm in here currently for probation revocation. And then I actually did get new charges. My baby daddy had claimed that I had drugs. So I'm taking that one to trial. I got a son.
How long have you been in there for?
I've been in here for about 3 months.
And you said you got a probation violation, revocation with some new charges. You don't have any time yet. Are you facing time?
Yeah, I'm facing 8 to 15.
8 to 15?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm sorry to hear that. Do you have, obviously with the fact that you're on probation, you've got a record, but do you got like a bad record?
No, I don't have one at all, actually. My first charge was because of my baby daddy when I was 20 years old.
What has you facing so much time?
So I stayed with him after he had hurt my daughter.
And so it's something in relation with that. You don't have to go any further. I don't need to know the ins and outs of your case, but I'm very sorry to hear about the situation that you find yourself in. You're in Wyoming?
Yes.
Are you from there?
Yeah, I'm from here, but I was raised in Ohio.
I'm from Virginia myself. I've served time in Virginia. I did 7 years for drug charges, so I know what it's like to be locked up with and without support. And that's another reason why I do this. I like to turn these into videos, share these on YouTube, and people reach out to me wanting the information and wanting to be able to contact people such as yourself.
Yeah.
Would you be okay with me doing that?
Yeah.
Perfect. I just want to make sure that, you're cool with everything. And again, no funny business. So
yeah, I'm like, who the hell is Joseph?
Well, thank you for accepting the visit. So that's the first step right there. And also for being willing to, to do this.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about Wyoming. So tell me a little bit about what it's like to serve time there, first of all.
So doing time in Wyoming is actually like piece of cake because I've seen a lot of people come in from different states and stuff, and they all tell me about their jail. Well, we got really nice, like the guards are nice, the food's awesome.
Is it
and
really?
It's like, yeah. And I've been in a couple counties in Wyoming, and I believe Rock Springs is the best food that I've had. And like, it's like Barbie boot camp pretty much. It's like, and I've heard the prison in Wyoming's like Barbie boot camp, but I know the jail definitely is.
Never heard that saying before, Barbie boot camp. That's pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like that's what it's like.
Well, it's interesting to hear that it's not bad to have to serve time there if you do have to serve time. You've been in
Yeah.
there you've been in there for a couple of months now. Do you have support on the outside?
So I don't, I had just recently lost contact with my baby daddy. So because of the fact that probation put a no contact order on us, which is fine, but that means I can't talk to my son now. So, and my mom, I don't really talk to my mom. My brother and sister are doing time in prison. So,
So I don't usually like to, talk about a person's case at all, and we don't have to. So feel free to say that we don't have to. But I do want to try to get some kind of clarification because I don't want to paint the wrong type of picture right here. When I asked you because you said you were facing like 8 to 15, I believe is what you said. Is that right?
yeah.
What is it that's got you facing that much time? There's got to be something serious, right? It's like a serious.
Yeah. Accessory to child abuse.
Okay. And, look, obviously that sounds horrible. So,
Oh, yeah.
was this, I don't even really know what to say about that because, again, I don't want to talk about your case. Is there anything that you want to share? Like, did you do something? Did he do something? Whatever.
So I'm not sure all I know is I came home and my daughter was not breathing. And so I guess I was so blinded by the love that I didn't even look at the bigger picture until I was locked up. But I'd stayed with him for 8 months. So they're like, we can charge you with him because you stayed. I didn't have anywhere else to go. I don't have family, nothing like that. So what do you want me to do? Go live on the streets? So
Okay.
I stayed with him.
So I think I'm starting to see a little bit of what it is, and we can just leave it with where we're at right there. Is it because of your charges? And again, feel free to ask or answer this or not. But is it because of your charges that you have no support, or is it just because you just don't have anybody?
No, I think it just has to do with the fact that I don't really have anybody. Like I was adopted at almost 18. I had a horrible life growing up with my actual family. So I took myself out of that equation to where maybe I could better myself if I didn't have that negativity in my life.
I'm sorry to hear about what you've been through and about the situation that you find yourself in. Let's change gears a little bit here. What do you do in there on a daily basis? How are you getting through the time?
So I be trying to sleep all the time. Like right now I'm awake because my roommate's crazy and I got to tiptoe around her. But other than that, like I usually try to sleep. I try to sleep my time away because I've gone to court for the new charges and stuff like that, but I'm still waiting for everything else.
Gotcha.
And my attorney is dumb.
Well, I hope whatever is going to come of your situation, I hope it works out and you're able to get out, as quickly as you possibly can, do the time that you have to do, and are able to, be successful and leave the BS in the past. And again, it's just an unfortunate situation that you find yourself in. Let's talk about the housing unit that you're in. Is it an open dorm? Is it a cell block?
So it's cells.
And
I'm in general population right now.
You said that and forgive me, you'll see me looking at you here, and my computer screen's right here, so that's how I see you. But you mentioned that your cellie's crazy. You got to tiptoe around, or are you being funny about that, or is that serious?
No, I'm serious. Like she's from Indiana, and she kind of thinks the worst about everybody. I believe she's really crazy.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that. It sounds like you're having some difficulties with her. I want to ask this, and it's just interesting that I end up on this random visit with somebody who's got some pretty serious stuff going on. What's a good way to ask this? Does your case pose any problems for you in there? Like if somebody were to know what your charges were, would that be like a problem? It would?
Yeah. Yeah.
So in terms of do they ask you what you were in there for and you just say like a probation violation or something like that? Like, what do you say in response? And feel free to not answer that if you don't want to.
Well, I am honest about it. Like, I'm in here for a probation violation and for the new charges.
Hmm.
If it goes any further than that, then I mean, I'm honest about it. So, I mean, if you got a problem with me, I guess. But like I said, it's Barbie boot camp, so nobody really like fucks with you, no, like anything like that.
Have you had problems because of that? Have people tried to fight you because of that?
When I first got here, like I think it started 2016 is when I first did time. People wanted to, but I came into jail pregnant, so of course they don't want the extra charges.
Well, I'm talking about in relation to the charges right now, like
Oh
those.
no,
Yeah.
no.
Well, I'm just interested in I'm grateful that you're willing to share the perspective of this situation with us. What would having some support mean to you? Having no support at all right now.
I think it would mean a lot to me. Like when I was talking to my son and stuff like that, that was enough support for me to feel like I wasn't all depressed and my anxiety wasn't up the roof and I didn't just feel pissed off at the whole world.
All right. Well, it's my hope to be able to help you get some pen pal support. And forgive me, okay? Because I'm going to go back one final time. I just want to clarify. You mentioned when you were able to talk to your son. The way it's sounding to me, and correct me if I'm wrong, I thought that the child had lost their life.
No. So my son is, so my daughter is the one with my charges.
Okay.
Yeah. She was adopted into the system and stuff like that.
Okay, but she was still alive.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Anyways, moving on. I don't mean to pry, so forgive me for that. I just wanted to get some clarification because I didn't want anybody thinking anything that, we didn't have it right.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and move around a little bit, if you don't mind. So if I was able to, not able, when I send you $20, I can send it to you via commissary so that you can order food items, or I can send it to you for the tablet. How would you want me to send it to you, for the tablet or for the commissary food items?
Oh, the tablet's fine.
Are you able to make commissary? I mean, you don't make commissary because you don't have any support in there. But have you made commissary since being in there?
Yeah, when I first got here, I did.
Do you see people in there making commissary? I'm sure that there's like people who are making commissary and you don't have anything. So how do you get by with like the basic necessities, like food, like hygiene, for example?
So they supply that, like the jail supplies it.
So like an indigent kit, I guess is what it's
Yeah.
called. Okay. Hey, are you available? Can I do one more of these with you? Would that be okay?
Yeah.
I'm going to I'll request you one more time, right like this, okay?
Okay.
Okay. All right. Bye. Well, I thought she had killed her child. That's what it was sounding like to me at first, and I must have had that completely wrong. But it is interesting to hear this young woman locked up with nothing and nobody. I hope that she'll accept this again. I don't really know how well that went because I was kind of prying, and I wasn't really meaning to do that. I just wanted to clarify one way or another and not go with the wrong information. Hey there, Brittany.
Hello.
I didn't know if you were going to accept this again. I didn't know how that first one went. And again, I do want to apologize if I wasn't trying to pry. I just wanted to try to clarify the best that I could.
Yeah. I was just telling one of the girls because she's one of the girls that you had sent another request to. I was telling her what you were doing. And she's like, okay, I'm going to accept it.
Well, that's interesting. So I've only just recently started doing this within the last 2 weeks, possibly. But I was thinking about it this morning, and I've done a few of these. I've had a couple of people hang up on me, but most of them are successful. There's only been 2 people who hung up on me, and that's because I took way too long to get to the point when first getting on the line with them. But I was wondering this morning, I said, eventually I'm going to request somebody, or I'm going to request 2 people in the same block, and they're going to be like, who the hell is this?
Yeah.
But that's cool that the girl's in there with you, and hopefully she'll accept it as well, and we can do something with her too.
Yeah, she's like, because I was like, who the hell is Joseph Guerrero? And she's like, I don't know. And then she goes on to hers and she's like, that dude added me too. And I'm like, okay.
I'm requesting everybody from everywhere. You were the first person that I'm speaking to from Wyoming. What is Wyoming like? Tell me a little bit about what it's like out there.
Honestly, I think it's shitty. I'd rather go live in Ohio where, like, I don't know, because in Ohio, people get shot for less than what you see here. And there's, I don't know, you got these people who are informants for the cops, and you don't know who's your real friend and who's not. And I mean, there's all the dirt and all that stuff. In Rock Springs, there's really nothing. There's a Walmart.
If there's a Walmart, there's at least that. So
exactly.
Sort of sounds like anywhere else. A lot of snitching. What's the drug like? What's the drug scene like out there? I'm sure it's pretty bad.
So the meth is pretty bad here.
As it seems to be everywhere.
Yeah, that's what I've really seen. Like, I've been to a couple towns and stuff in Wyoming where heroin or pills is worse, but what? Thank you.
Ooh, he said don't ignore me because you're on a visit.
Oh yes, mother. The guard was talking to me. He's like, don't ignore me just because you're on a visit.
So you don't get visits, do you?
No, I was getting them with my son.
Well, it's good to at least be able to give you a visit when you're not getting them. And it would be my hope to be able to get you some more visits and some people who would be interested in writing to you too.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. You don't seem like, and I could be wrong about this, were drugs ever a part of your story?
Yeah, they were.
What was your drug of choice, if you don't mind me asking?
So mine was opiates and then meth.
So, were you messed up prior to getting arrested? Like, was getting arrested what got you cleaned up, or did you get clean prior to ever getting arrested?
I was clean before I got arrested. My baby daddy actually called the cops on me and was like, Brittany's got a nationwide warrant out for her arrest and she's at my house. Because I allegedly went on the run. So I had a nationwide warrant out for my arrest.
Well, that's crazy. What was the warrant for? The probation violation?
Yeah. Because it was a bench warrant for court.
Oh, you just didn't show up to court.
Yeah, so they said, last November is when they put it out.
So tell us about your life prior to getting locked up. Did you work? Like, what were you doing with yourself?
So because I had nowhere, like I was allegedly on the run, just being like secluded. I didn't have contact with my son. I didn't have contact with anybody. I mean, it was kind of a relief being arrested and being in jail where you're not like watching your back everywhere. But how it happened, that's just that betrayal kind of messed me up, I guess.
Well, you said that it was your kid's father that called the police on you. Is that right?
Yeah.
Well,
yep.
Everything happens for a reason. And, obviously you got to sit for a while, and hopefully it won't be as long of a while as it could be. But with the time that you're doing and that you're going to do, what do you think about your future?
So I kind of feel like I'm a lost cause, but then I'm like, I put in for a whole bunch of treatment centers. I put in for treatment court, I've even out of state. So I'm trying to get into treatment because I know that drugs is a problem for me. I know that no matter how, like, I start reliving my past and stuff like that, and that's when I start using.
So if you could get the drugs out of your life, you would stand a real good chance to do something. And you should think about that during this time that you serve. Obviously, that you got to be clean, and obviously you want to be clean because you're trying to get into these programs. And if you were able to get clean and able to get another chance out here, what would you try to do with yourself?
So I would actually I would go get my GED. I would get my own place to stay. I would find somewhere to work and be able to take care of my son without having to have a man support me.
Well, let me say this, like I said, I've done time, so I know, you can get your GED in there where you're at. And if you can't get it right there, you can get it where you're going. Unfortunately, if you end up having to go somewhere. But something that used to help me get through my time, because I went through a lot of my time lonely as well with nobody, was just having hope and putting together little, almost like playing house to a certain degree. Like, okay, when I get out, this is what I want to do, and I'm going to do it this way, and literally like putting together a mock budget. You really ought to start giving yourself a lot more credit than you give yourself now. I imagine being in the situation that you are is super depressing. Having lived the life that you've lived is super, it just adds to that. But you're young. And even if you got to do some years, you're going to get out with enough life left to really do some good things. I've seen people get out at 40 and turn it around. And I was in my 30s by the time I actually started doing the right thing myself. I think I was almost 33 years old. I got out the last time I was almost 33 after doing 7 years. And I never looked back. I've been out for 6 years now. So you can definitely do it. You just got to know that you can do it and give yourself a chance.
Yeah, I agree.
And, I say that to you not to like, I don't want you to take that like me nagging you or some shit like that. Take that as motivation. And I hope that anybody who reaches out to you will be a motivator as well, too.
I hope so, too.
Like I said, I'm grateful and I'm thankful that you did this visit. And, this is what I'm going to do for you. And I'm not doing this like, I'm going to put $20 on your kiosk. That way you can message some people if you want to or do whatever you do with that. But I'm also going to put $20 on your commissary account, too. That way you can get you some food items, maybe, if you want to do that. Would you be able to do that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd do that for you. Just, just to say, hey, think about some things, for real. Think about yourself and do some good things with your time. You ain't got nothing but it. And I know right now all you want to do is just sleep it away, but eventually you're gonna get into bid mode and like how you gonna pass this time for real, getting some schooling or working. But anyways, that's all I'm gonna say. I try to tell people anything if it's helpful or not, whatever. But take it with a grain of salt. Let's get back to talking about you and this time that you're doing. What's some crazy stuff that you've gone through since being in there?
I honestly, like I said, it's Barbie boot camp, so you don't really go through anything crazy in here. Like, it's just the bitches stay to themselves, the dudes stay to themselves. Like, I haven't seen. Oh, I did catch the COVID being in jail.
Did you really? Did you?
Yeah. So you're in quarantine when you first come into jail. I was on quarantine for 10 days and they came and told me my test was negative. Awesome. So I go to population. 2 days later, they were like, you're positive for it. Cause I'm like, why the hell can't I smell? Why can't I taste anything? Like, my sinuses are fucked up. There's something going on here and it's not normal. And they're like, oh, we read the test wrong. You're positive. So I did get that and I tried to use it as a get out of jail free card. Didn't work.
So what was it like to be locked up with that? I mean, were you scared that you might die? Like, did they treat you well?
So I was denied the doctor like twice, I think, until I made a big deal about it. Because I'm like, the COVID's not a joke. So I felt like death. I did. I slept a lot. And my face, it was like my face hurt. And they're telling me Tylenol is pretty much a fix-all for it. So I took a whole bunch of Tylenol and I slept.
Did they give you all the vaccine in there?
No, I didn't get it.
So they haven't even offered it to y'all up in there yet?
No, not that I know of.
Wow, that's interesting to know. Because there's a lot of other states that are doing it, but every state is different. So ain't no telling. What's the facility like that you're in? Is it a big facility, small spot? Like, how is that?
So it's pretty new. It's kind of big. It's got juvenile and adults. It's only got two pods for the females, and then so A, B, and C are for the females, and then E, A, B, C, and then like the rest of the 5, 6 other pods are men.
Yeah.
So they don't really get that many females.
Are you allowed to get like a physical piece of mail, like a real letter, or is it got to be on the email?
No, I get real letters. Like my son sent me a card the other day. So we get it. They just read it, and
Yeah,
then
yeah,
they
for sure. What
yeah.
about shit? What the hell was I about to ask you? What about like rec? Do y'all get rec in there?
Yeah, so rec is just like a little room next door to C pod, which is the girls' pod. I've gone in there a couple of times, but it's like, I guess the girls like to go in there or the men because it's a different scenery, and I think it's just depressing in there. So,
Well, look, we got a minute left. I want to let you say anything that you might want to say to anybody watching this. What would you leave people with about who you are?
I don't know. I'm a pretty good person. I'm decent. I just make stupid mistakes, and we all do. I shouldn't be judged on my mistakes, though. You know what I mean?
Well, again, it's my hope to be able to get you some support, maybe a pen pal, put a couple of dollars on your books. I'm going to keep in contact with you. Send me a message, and maybe we can do a follow-up with you in the near future, and I'll keep you posted in terms of anybody reaching out wanting to write to you.
Okay, sounds good.
Tell your other person in there to accept the visit. I'd like to do that with them as well. I'll be in contact with you, and keep your head up. I hope your time goes by real fast.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Take care, and I'll talk with you soon.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
I don't know why that joint got to me a little bit. That joint had me in the feels a little bit. I felt bad. Like, damn, man, young lady, you got to give yourself a chance. And, man, I hope there will be some people interested in writing to her. I think she just made a lot of mistakes. And that's messed up. If anybody wants to write to her, to Brittany, you guys send me an email, and I'll make sure it's possible for you to get in contact with her. Thanks for taking the time, and I'll talk with you real soon.